Okay, so picture this. It's a month from now, sun's out, you're in your garden, and you're just like grabbing handfuls of fresh veggies.
Sounds pretty ideal, bro.
The dream. And that's kind of what we're diving into today, how to make that dream a reality fast.
Yeah. Like, we often think of gardening as this big, long process.
Months of work, right.
Exactly. But there are these veggies that are like the opposite of that.
Speed demons.
Yeah, exactly. They grow super fast.
So we're talking about those today. 7 veggies you can grow in about a month.
From seed to plate, yeah.
Amazing.
And it's not just, like, boring salads either.
Oh, no. We've got a good mix going. We're talking radishes, all kinds of lettuce, not just iceberg, folks.
Right, right.
Spinach, which gotta love spinach.
Oh, yeah.
Arugula, which I have to say I love that it's also called rocket. How cool is that?
It's a way better name, honestly.
Way better. And then baby carrots.
So sweet.
The best. Turnips, which, maybe don't sound as exciting, but we'll get into why they're awesome.
No, it's so much.
Underrated.
Yeah.
And then, to round things out, Swiss chard.
Gorgeous and delicious. And the thing is, these aren't just fast. They're also, like, packed with nutrients.
Like having a mini vitamin factory in your backyard.
Exactly.
So, ready to get started? Let's do it. First things first. Sunshine. Most of these guys need a solid 6 hours a day. Is that right?
Yeah, 6 hours is kind of the magic number.
Like it's fuel for plants.
Totally. It's how they, photosynthesize and all that.
Right. The basics.
But for some of them, a bit of shade is actually better.
Oh, really? Like who?
Like, lettuce and arugula can actually handle some shade, especially if it gets super hot where you are.
Okay, that's good to know, because my garden is not exactly, like, drenched in sun all day.
Yeah, I feel you. Okay, next up, soil.
The foundation. What's the deal with soil?
So the main thing is drainage.
Oh, right.
Yeah, it's got to be well drained. Imagine if you had to, like, breathe underwater. That's what it's like for roots in soggy soil.
Yikes. Not good.
Not good at all. They need air to breathe, just like us.
Makes sense. And I know our sources talked about adding compost and sand to help with drainage.
Oh, yeah, that's super helpful, especially if your soil's kind of clay heavy.
Which mine totally is.
Compost, it's like magic. It adds all these little air pockets.
Oh, interesting.
And then sand helps to, like, break up the clay so the water can actually drain.
Okay, it's like giving your soil a massage. I love that. So we've covered sun, soil. Now it's got to be time for everyone's favorite, watering.
This is where people get tripped up.
Right. Like how much is too much?
It's all about balance. They need moisture, especially when they're just starting out.
Like little seedlings, so delicate.
Totally. But you drown them if you give them too much water at once.
Browned veggie's not what we're going for.
No.
So the key is consistency.
Yeah, consistent moisture is key. And the good rule of thumb is to water deeply but less often,
Deeply but less often. Got it. Any other watering wisdom? I feel like I'm always doing it wrong.
Let me think. Oh, try to water in the morning if you can.
Why is that?
It gives those leaves a chance to dry out during the day, which helps prevent, like, fungal diseases.
Those things love moisture.
They're like party time.
Not in my garden. Okay, so we've got our watering schedule down. What about, like, actual spacing in the garden? Do these speedy growers need a lot of room?
It's so tempting to cram everything together,
The more the merrier, right?
Exactly. But with plants, it can kind of backfire.
You don't want them competing for resources, right?
Exactly. They need their space to access all the good stuff. Sunlight, nutrients, water, the whole deal.
So what's a good rule of thumb?
When in doubt, give them more space.
Yeah.
It's way easier than trying to save a crowded mess later. Plus, good spacing helps with air circulation, which, like we talked about with watering, helps prevent those pesky diseases.
Okay, good to know. Speaking of pesky, it's time to talk about those unwelcome garden guest pests. Any advice on dealing with those?
They don't waste time with big leaves or anything like that, just straight to the good stuff. It's actually pretty cool they've been grown for a long time because they're so quick, like way back to the Egyptians.
Wow, the Egyptians were growing radishes. I had no idea. So sunshine, loose soil, consistent moisture. Anything else we should know?
Spacing? Yeah, gotta space them out like an inch apart. They need room for those bulbs to grow underground. Oh, and don't forget to thin them out when they're small.
Thinning. Ugh. My least favorite. I get so attached to those little sprouts, but I know, it's for the best in the long run.
Okay, so how do we know when it's time to harvest those babies?
When they're about an inch around, you can check by gently pushing the soil back a bit, but don't wait too long or they get kind of woody. Noted. No woody radishes allowed. All right, radishes done. Up next, lettuce. Our sources were going on and on about all the different kinds of lettuce we can grow.
Oh yeah, there's so much more than just iceberg.
Right. So what are we talking about here? What kind of lettuce can we grow?
Okay, so you've got your Chris head lettuces, like your iceberg if you really want some crunch.
Classic.
Right. Then there's loose leaf, like red leaf and green leaf. Super pretty and tender.
Ooh, I do love some color in my salads.
And then there's the butter heads. Those are like Bibb lettuce, Boston lettuce, all those super soft and buttery ones.
So many good choices. It's like build your own salad bar, but from your garden. Okay, I'm ready to grow some lettuce. Sunshine, right?
Sunlight's important, definitely, but they're not as picky as some of the others, so a little shade is okay, especially when it's really hot. Oh, and same as radishes, good drainage is key.
Got it. No soggy bottoms. How about spacing for these guys?
About 6 to 12 inches between each plant, depending on the type. Oh, and have you ever heard of the cut and come again method?
Cut and come again. What is that?
It's amazing. With lettuce, you can just cut the outer leaves as they grow, and the inner leaves keep growing.
Wait, so you can get like multiple harvests from one plant?
Exactly. Fresh lettuce for weeks.
Okay, that's a game changer. I'm definitely trying that. Okay, what's up next on our list?
How about some spinach? It loves cooler weather, which is great because it's packed with nutrients.
Popeye would approve. So how do we grow this superfood?
Well, since it likes cooler weather, spring and fall are the best times to plant it. Needs at least 4 hours of sun a day, though it can handle some shade, especially if it gets super hot.
Okay, perfect. I think I can find a spot like that. What about watering?
Keep the soil moist, water it regularly, especially if there's no rain. But, like all our speedy veggies, overwatering is a no-go.
Right, those roots gotta breathe.
Exactly. Mulch can help with that, keep things nice and balanced.
Mulch is like a magic word, it seems. Our sources were saying that spinach, similar to lettuce, can also be harvested in stages. Is that right?
Totally. You can pick off those baby leaves when they're around 2 inches long or wait till the whole head is ready. And it's another one you can cut and come again.
So, more spinach all the time. I like how this works. Okay, up next, the amazingly named arugula.
Otherwise known as rocket.
So much better. Tell me everything. It seems like such a fancy green. Is it hard to grow?
Not at all. It's another one that prefers cooler weather, a little bit of shade, especially if you live somewhere hot, and it's ready in about a month.
You had me at ready in a month. So we found a nice shady spot. What about harvesting? Any tips there?
Same as spinach and lettuce, honestly. Harvest those leaves when they're young and tender, like 3 inches or so.
Yeah.
Or wait for the whole head. It's up to you.
Love the flexibility. And if I'm understanding this right, I can cut it and it'll keep growing.
You got it. More arugula all the time.
Amazing. Okay, I'm feeling like a speedy veggie growing pro. What's next? Those cute little baby carrots, maybe.
Perfect timing. So
Right.
baby carrots, they're just regular carrots, but you pick them early.
Makes sense. So do we need like totally different growing conditions, different soil, less sun?
Nope. Same as regular carrots. Loose soil, lots of sun, at least 6 hours. It's all in when you pick them.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me everything about these adorable baby carrots. What am I looking for?
So there are specific varieties of carrots that are bred to be baby carrots. They're sweeter and mature faster,
Interesting. So I plant those, make sure they've got their sunshine, and then what?
basically. They're ready when the roots are about an inch across. Easiest way to check is to gently move a little soil and take a peek. And here's a pro tip. Harvest in the morning, they'll be extra crisp and sweet.
Okay, so morning harvest for max sweetness. Got it. Turnips are up next. They're kind of the underdogs of the veggie world, but our sources were singing their praises.
They just need a good PR team. People hear turnip and think a boring side dish,
Yeah.
but they can be so much more.
Right. Our sources mentioned eating them raw, cooked, even pickled. So many options.
Exactly. And the flavor's great, kind of sweet, kind of peppery. Plus, they're super easy to grow, ready in about a month.
Okay, you've convinced me. Turnips are back on the menu. Give me the rundown. What do I need to know?
Cool weather is best and well-drained soil. You know, the usual.
Got it.
They're pretty low maintenance, can handle some shade, but they'll really thrive with lots of sun.
Okay, sounds good. Now, for the big question, how do I know when it's time to harvest these guys?
For baby turnips, you want them around 2 to 3 inches across. Just loosen the soil a bit and pull them right up.
And if I, miss that window and they get a little bigger, is that okay?
Totally fine. They might get a little tougher, but you can still roast them or throw them in soups and stews.
Good to know. All right, turnips check. We've done radishes, lettuce, spinach, arugula, baby carrots, and turnips. That means there's just one speedy veggie left. Swiss chard, ready to finish strong.
Let's do it. Swiss chard is like the rock star of the garden. It's beautiful with those colorful stems, super nutritious, and incredibly easy to grow.
It's like the total package. Okay, talk to me about Swiss chard.
Cool season crop, likes full sun to partial shade.
Okay.
And, you guessed it, well-drained soil.
Of course, it's all about that drainage.
Right, and bonus, it's another cut-and-come-again veggie. You can keep harvesting those outer leaves all season long.
More food for everyone. Any extra tips for making sure our Swiss chard is living its best life?
Just regular watering, especially if it's dry. But again, don't go overboard. Mulch is always a good idea, too.
Mulch, mulch, mulch. It's like the secret weapon for a thriving garden.
Pretty much.
Okay, we covered a lot today. Sunshine, soil, watering, even pest control and harvesting. And we learned about all these awesome, fast-growing veggies we can grow.
And in just a month, you could be feasting on a garden full of fresh food, all thanks to these speedy superstars.
It's amazing how quickly you can grow your food when you know what you're doing. I think a lot of people get intimidated by gardening, but hopefully this deep dive showed them that it's not as hard as it seems.
Totally. It's all about starting small, experimenting, and, not being afraid to get your hands dirty.
Literally. Okay, before we wrap things up, we like to leave our listeners with a final thought, something to think about after the episode is over. Ready?
Hit me with it.
Okay, so we've talked about how fast and easy it is to grow these veggies, even if you don't have a ton of space.
Right. Anyone can do it.
Exactly. So the final thought for today is this. Don't let anything stop you from growing your own food. Even if you just have a window box or a little corner of a balcony, you can still experience the joy of fresh, homegrown veggies.
Love that.
And on that note, we've reached the end of our Speedy Garden Guide. We hope you feel inspired and ready to get out there and grow some delicious food.
Happy gardening, everyone.
Until next time.